Hi, I'm Professor Thomas White. I am founder and executive director of the International Business Ethics Case Competition. By my clock, it is 12 noon, and so since I like things to start on time, we're gonna get rolling. Welcome to the 24th award ceremony of IBECC. This will be a short program. That's my hope. All the conversations I had with different faculty and students over the last few weeks has had the same message. Everybody is exhausted, they're stressed, they just want to get to the end of the semester and have, a lot of conflicts and all kinds of responsibilities. So I'm not going to drag this out any more than necessary. We're going to thank the people who we should thank, go into the results, have a couple thoughts about the times in which we live, say a little bit about next year, and that's the plan. So as everyone knows, what we now do is share screen and shift into PowerPoint. Okay, first of all, there are a number of people and organizations that we want to thank. Northrop Grumman Corporation has been not only our major donor this year, but for a number of years. If you watched the interview I did with Sandra Evers Manley, you know that they don't just support us, but support us enthusiastically. The Walton College of Business at the University of Arkansas joined us last year, continues to be a significant supporter. The Rowena Yarrick Shaber Scholarship Foundation, College of the Holy Cross, the Sioka Center for Business Ethics and Society there, the Eisenberg School of Management at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, which is located just about a mile that way from where I live. The Donahue Center for Business Ethics and Social Responsibility at the University of Massachusetts at Lowell. The Center for Ethics in Business and Governance at St. Anselm College. And the Abigail Adams Institute in Cambridge, the Michael Hoffman Center for Business Ethics at Bentley University, and the Ethics and Compliance Initiative. We want to thank all of those organizations. Most have been with us for a number of years, some just more recently, but clearly we could not put an event of this scale on without the support of a number of organizations, and we are really very appreciative about that. Second, we want to thank all the teams, of course. You're the people who did all the hard work. We had 17 institutions, 18 teams, ranging from the United States, Canada, Turkey, Spain. And so, as you know, you all did the hard work, and we definitely recognize that, as did all the judges. You got very high praise from all the judges. Speaking of judges, we also want to give special thanks to our Uber judges, going left to right: Jim Arnold, Stan Botts, Gail O'Brien, Ruth Kraft, Kevin Harrington, Tim Mazer, and Maria Sonin. Tim and Maria are our latest additions and will join in a more prominent role next year. These are people who have been with me in some cases. I think we probably don't want to admit how long we've been working together on all of this, but in some cases it's been more than 20 years. So these are not only very generous people, but people who do this year after year because of their enthusiasm and their commitment to the cause. Speaking of commitment to the cause, we also want to thank our judges. This is just a sampling of the companies that were represented by about 35 judges who participated. I also want to point out that one of the benefits of having been online this year is that we were able to draw judges from a variety of countries. For example, there was one session where the judge from AI for Good was in Hanoi. The judge from GSK was in Dubai. We had another instance where there was a judge from Dubai, another from The Hague. So we were very fortunate to have such an international representation, not only in the teams, but an international representation into the judges. And we're deeply appreciative of that, especially as it was the case that the judge who was judging from Hanoi, it was 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. for the two sessions that he was working on. So that really is above and beyond the call of duty. Our tech people, whom you all met in one way or another, left to right: Michael, Ravi, Chung, Nick, Sabrina, Matt, Megan, and the other person whom you're going to be having more contact with shortly, Kirsten Scanlon, who has been my right hand for years, and you will have more contact with her as we get into the process of processing awards and the like. Speaking of awards, let's just get right to it. So we had 3 competitions. The full presentation, about 25 minutes, 10-minute presentation, 90-second. We had 5 divisions. We had one graduate division, 4 undergraduate divisions, and there's a first place and a second place for each of those divisions. So the full presentation, in the graduate division, first place went to Concordia, second to Asper. The first undergraduate division, Fordham, second place, West Point. Second undergraduate division, first place, Asper, second place, Penn State. Third undergraduate division, first place, Stetson, second place, UMass Amherst. And the final undergraduate division, first place, South Florida, second place, Mount Holyoke. For the 10-minute competition, in the graduate division, Asper first place, Concordia second. In the undergraduate one, Middle East Technical University and the University of Massachusetts at Amherst second. Penn State second, Wisconsin. Undergraduate 3, Asper first, Stetson second. And the final undergraduate division, UMass Lowell, and second place, Marist. For the 90-second presentation competition, in the graduate, Concordia and UPC second. Undergraduate 1, Middle East Technical University and Mount Holyoke. Undergraduate 2, UMass Lowell, and second is Stetson. Undergraduate 3, West Point, runner-up, South Florida. Undergraduate 4, Penn State first, and Wisconsin second. Now, here's the deal with the prizes. The winning teams in each division of the 3 main competitions will receive $300. The runner-up teams will receive $175. Teams should inform us about how this is to be distributed among team members, and we will then send Amazon gift cards. As you'll notice, a number of teams either won or placed more than once, and so we'll figure out what the total is. You should then let us know how you're distributing this among the teams, and we'll send Amazon gift cards. Historically, when we meet in person, we have actual tangible awards to hand out, but given the situation we're in, it's just easier to do things this way. So we'll be getting in touch with you to make sure that we have all the information, and obviously not everyone's going to be able to be here now, and we'll follow up with them on that. Okay, moving on to the Moral Compass competition. This is something that we did a little differently this year. Normally, it's just limited to the people at IBECC on site. This year, we basically sent out a wide invitation, and we did receive. Got students participating not only from IBECC teams, but University of Navarra, who's been a kind of regular in person, Seton Hall, the University of Baltimore, a couple of other, some other schools. So we're really very happy about that. And here's, as you see, remember what the prize is the IBECC Moral Compass. Compass Award goes to Olivia Nur, Eden Dolazai, and Mohammed Faraz. Now, there were a number of really interesting stories that were done in connection with this. All of this is posted up on the website, so I encourage you to take a look at that. But this is the story that everybody voted as being their favorite. So they will receive the IBECC Moral Compass, and congratulations to them. Now, the other portion of the event this year, as you know from the beginning, one of the things we try to do is to use IBECC to have it as an event in which we actually do something tangible for somebody in the world. We have normally done this through our academic and athletic biathlon, which we use as a fundraiser. This year, obviously, with COVID, we couldn't do that, and so, as you know, we asked you if you were interested in doing that, to find a local organization that you wanted additional support for, and IBECC was going to commit $2,000 to be spread among those organizations. There was also an essay prize in connection with that, and so we had some essays submitted. The essays were judged by one of our Uber judges, and the idea was, the point of the essay was to make a case for why this organization should be the recipients of your efforts and our generosity. We had three teams that participated in this. The two ASPER teams and the team from Mount Holyoke. They submitted essays in connection with all of this. And the essay prize, which then is an additional $300 that simply goes to the team or the author, however the team decides, goes to the Mount Holyoke essay, which was describing the work of Global Dream, the literacy campaign by Dignity Education, Vision International, and Look Now, India. So again, congratulations. Worthy efforts of all three teams, but this is the one essay that was singled out. But as you know, the most important thing is you're identifying in organizations that you wanted to throw some additional support that way. We'll be in touch with you, or the organizations will figure this out, but we divide $2,000 among those three organizations. So thanks very much. You're doing good work. Now, in connection with, yes, that is a piece of black screen. That is not a problem on your end. One of the things that I want to draw special attention to is that even though the team did not win, I want to give special attention to the creativity and imagination of the ASPER undergraduate team, who not only in their introductory video for the team showed a lot of imagination, but did so in a video they submitted about the organization that they were endorsing. So I want you to see this.
At Resource Assistance for Youth. We are a community agency here in Winnipeg, Manitoba that supports homeless, street-entrenched, and marginalized youth under the age of 30. Youth homelessness in Winnipeg is a really big issue. On any given night, there's over 450 young people experiencing homelessness in Winnipeg. It might not sound big relative to a city with the population of Toronto or Vancouver, but for a population of 700,000 people, that's a lot of youth. Youth homelessness in Winnipeg is related to a lot of different issues: the justice system, the school system, the foster system. And at RAY, we take a holistic approach to addressing youth homelessness. We have something we call the hub model, which means that we support youth with a variety of programs and services all under one roof. It's things like housing, things like mental health and addiction support, things like employment and training and cultural supports, and things like basic needs. The undergrad case team from the IH Asper School of Business has done an amazing job collecting jeans and men's running shoes for us that we can give out to youth on the street, either through our basic needs department in drop-in or through our street outreach team, who drive around handing out life-saving supplies to young people on the streets. We could not do this critical work without partners like you, and you are making a difference. So thanks, team, and good luck.
Okay, so special attention and thanks to the Asper School of Business undergrad team. Okay, so now the procedure, just to let you know what's coming up, is that we'll be in touch with everybody. We should already have the addresses from everybody, mailing addresses to the extent that we need them for certificates for the IBECC teams. We'll be needing them from the Moral Compass teams and individuals. We'll be proceeding on prizes, and also we'll be needing some addresses for the awards that we send to the schools. Okay, so you'll be hearing from us on all of that. There's also going to be a follow-up survey. We're going to send this to the teams and also to judges. Our plan is for next year to be a hybrid event. So we're particularly interested in ways in which we can improve the online piece of this. And I just want to conclude with a few thoughts about the unusual times in which we live, because they pose some, significant threats that your generation is being saddled with. I mean, frankly, there are ways in which my generation and your parents' generation have done a poor job on protecting you from certain threats, but I think that at least you need a heads up on them. Now, occasionally it's useful to be a philosopher, because in the way that I look at the world, what we're looking at is fundamentally a problem that's grounded in epistemology or theory of knowledge, and then there are some ethical implications about that. One of the most, particularly if you've taken a philosophy course and you've done anything with theory of knowledge, one of the key fundamental issues is that of knowledge versus opinion. What's the best avenue to get knowledge, and what's the difference between that and opinion or belief? We're living in a time in which there's this ongoing drumbeat that there is no such thing as knowledge, there is no such thing as facts or truth, there is only opinion. And that is not only dangerous and false, by the way, it is something that has significant ethical implications to it, because this is fundamentally an assault on truth. Now, we've seen this most recently over the last few years, really going more than 20 years, assault against the notion of climate change, that it is not real, that it is not serious, that it is not human caused. Well, it is all of those, and the evidence has been there for about 30 years. The idea that COVID was no more serious than the flu, when in fact it's a life-threatening disease which has killed in the United States alone more than 500,000 people and have killed millions across the planet. The idea that the US election in November was stolen, was fraudulent, that's another claim that's been out there. And also, these false claims about the January 6th insurrection. So we're living in a time where there's absolutely this assault on truth, where people are being told, you don't believe what you see with your eyes, believe what I say. Now, the thing to keep in mind about this, is when you're facing the fact, this moment where people are assaulting the notion of truth and knowledge, keep in mind the following things. First of all, people rarely lie for your interest. Secondly, people lie to get you to do something that you would not choose to do if you knew the truth. And people who do not lie are happy to show you the evidence that lets you make your own decision. From an ethical standpoint, part of respecting other people is to respect their autonomy and their freedom of choice and their freedom to make decisions. Anyone who's lying to you is trying to get you to do something that you would not do, and they typically are not willing to show you all the evidence that's out there on an issue. So it's just something to keep in mind. Finally, there's also this tangential ethical issue that's kind of wrapped in with that, it seems to me, that people talk about as an issue of freedom or liberty. But I think it's always important to keep in mind the following idea, which we hear over and over frequently over the years. Your right to swing your arm leaves off where my right not to have my nose struck begins. For years, that was an absolute consensus and no one would argue that. But now basically we have people saying, my right not to wear a mask or to obey public safety recommendations trumps your right to keep your life safe and to be protected from a life-threatening illness. So again, my point on this is that you as a generation are going to have to fix this. You should not have been saddled with these kinds of fundamental problems. There is such thing as knowledge, there is such thing as truth, there is such thing as facts. That's the best, from an ethical standpoint, that's the best way to treat people. And also, when our actions have negative consequences on other people, we have a duty to recognize that. We just can't blow it off and say, I'm sorry, my right to swing my arm goes wherever it wants to. So I just wanted to leave, given the unusual times in which we live, I just wanted to leave you with this as a sort of serious thought. On to brighter notes, next year we plan to be back in person. I said that last year, but I think next year is going to be a pretty good bet. Our tentative plans are to be in either Boston or Cambridge, Massachusetts. Same time of the year, mid-April. You'll be getting more information on that. And we hope to see you all and more of that. So as I said, you'll be getting more information from us. We'll be in touch with all the teams about the results. Congratulations. Thank you for all of your good work. And we'll see you in the future.